So now we are ready to go. Yeah, hello Berlin. Nice to meet you. I'm Simon. My background is in computer science. I studied statistical learned theory and founded during my studies my company NEUROLOGIQ with a deep focus in the industrial AI. So we develop solutions in the industry which are working under 100 milliseconds or above. And by my entrepreneurial doing, I'm generating content on LinkedIn or for Business Punk, and I also the lead of the task force defense at the German AI Association. So we heard it a few minutes ago. So the 30th of November 2022 was a tipping point. ChatGPT was released, grabs during 5 days 1 million users, and has 1.66 billion monthly views or integrations with the API and something like that. And the AI content explodes with 30,000% yearly growth. 30,000%, I think that's a high number game. And also the different investment strategies like Stargate, 500 billion US dollars. And after Stargate was released, DeepSeek was released 1 week ago, and they claimed that they trained the model with $6 million, and the stock value of NVIDIA decreases with 17%. And I think that's the movement we saw in the first quarter of the year, like the AI Action Summit, 109 billion euros. After that, von der Leyen also steps into the investment strategies and say, okay, you get 200 billion euros and so on. And as well, Hendrik Wüst collects 3.2 billion euros from Microsoft to build infrastructure in North Rhine-Westphalia. So there is a lot of money in the game, but on the other side, we have problems in the German market, like VW has large problems, Thyssenkrupp has large problems, and also a lot of hidden champions. And there is something in common with this situation. In 2007, the iPhone was released by Steve Jobs, and there was one brand which said, we are impossible to ignore. Maybe you can think about that brand, or you remember it. So, long time no see, and I hope that we don't get the same situation for different brands on the German market. So like that, Nokia was done, Apple overtake it, and at the moment we saw that 53% of German companies want to increase their AI investments, but on the other hand, if you ask a group of people and say, okay, what's happening at the moment, where are the AI leaders, you can see where Europe or Germany is at the moment. And also, half of the companies, AI isn't that hot topic at the moment because they struggle with different problems at the moment. And what we see is that we have waited too long to investment in infrastructure, and also, for example, in digital literacy for AI in different stages of companies. And the biggest problem for the companies are, okay, we have an idea, but how we start to get in this topic. And they have often the question, okay, is AI the right solutions for me? And no, not always. And on the other hand, they ask, what can AI really do for me? So what is the benefit of AI? And it's very important to analyze all these problems, okay? You have to go inside the use cases, and for that you can use, for example, a Stacey matrix, and you can orientate the problem, for example, yeah, do you want to, or is the problem more a chaotic problem? Then you are in the field of R&D, for example, and if you find the best solutions, it's a very simple problem like, yeah, you want to handle with numbers or customer data, for example, you can use a CRM. And there is a big buzz of AI we see in the media and so on, but if we go deeper, for a lot of people, AI is generative AI. So, for example, ChatGPT, Midjourney, and so on. But there are a lot of fields. And the other fields, like machine learning, simple statistical models, for example, are a very, very big leverage, for example, for companies. So, you see it later in our case at Thyssenkrupp. And if you want to really participate in the annual growth rate of the market size of artificial intelligence, you have to look in different angles and in different other types of AI. And one of the biggest thing is, like Roland Busch, the CEO of Siemens, said, we have an enormous amount of data, industrial data, and we have to use it. And it's very, very hard for companies to use the data because sometimes they have really bad data or a lot of data and they don't know how to handle this data. And for that I say wake up, and we have to creating leverage in the industry. And this is what we have done with Thyssenkrupp Steel and EMG. EMG is a large company. It's a subsidiary of the SMS group from Essen, and we have optimized the hot dip galvanizing. And their industrial AI meets steel. And in that case, AI isn't just a buzzword. Yeah, it defines efficiency, sustainability, and competitiveness for Thyssenkrupp Steel. So, as I said, Thyssenkrupp Steel, the big steel giant, EMG, market leader in strip guiding systems. So they build systems that they guide the strips to the big galvanizing machine. So they are around 400 meters long and so on. And our part was that we have to empower these two partners and develop different models which they use in their process. And the goal was that we want to optimize the zinc coating so that the zinc coating is more precise than ever before. And our challenge was that zinc is worth of gold. Why is that so? Because the workers at the machine set the parameters for the galvanizing line by their gut feelings. And so they say, okay, this type of steel, we need that parameters, and this type of steel, we need that. And then we are rushing 3, 4, 5 steel coils through the machine, and now it's perfect. And you can think about that, how expensive that could be. And on the other hand, what we see is that the big part of these workers are going to be retired very soon in the next years. To get a better feeling, what is hot dip galvanizing, I would like to show you this video. So, here we can see the whole line. At the beginning, you see that are going to be the steel coils put in the machine after they run through a few process steps. Then there is a big storage. Then the steel coil is prepared for the hot dip galvanizing process. And this is the galvanizing part. And this is the most important part. There are different measurements and so on. And in this machine, it's very large. It's up to 400 meters. And it's very or a lot of sensor data which are produced and which we have to handle with. And the thesis in this project, it started around 2020, our thesis was that if we use the data right and the domain knowledge from Thyssenkrupp and EMG, we can build an AI. Short spoiler, it's not that AI. I think it's around 108 models, which are combined with a fitness function in one model, decides more efficiently than humans. And during this process, we build up these models, use that parallel to the process, and always checking the decision of the people and challenging them to our output from our models. And what we have built, you can see here in this video, is that in this galvanizing tub, you can see here, this is a magnetic stabilizing system, and the air knife, it's very important that it blows the zinc away, which you don't need for the best coating. And in this process, you can see it in a few seconds. We have built different models. So, for example, for auto position, the whole strip, you can see it here, and to get the best position for the galvanizing process. And the solution we have built is in the machine. You don't really see it on the dashboard or something like that. It's nearly hidden. And what we have done is that we use all the live data from the machine. We nearly need up to 2 years to collect the data and to build the models, is that we can use it now live for machine learning. Our models decide, for example, the perfect air pressure of the air knife in real time under 100 milliseconds. And we avoid the trial and error approach from the workers, and there are no gut feelings anymore. And we have instead valid data, valid model, even after all the coil changes. And what makes this one can say, use case, a very good use case to scale, is that we can use different models for different machines. So, for example, auto positioning, live optimization, or coating margin tuning. And it's also very, very interesting for the special machinery supplier EMG, that they can use the models as a new digital business model for themselves. And we also create a real data platform to scale the solution at Thyssenkrupp. And one thing I have missed, with that solution, Thyssenkrupp saves nearly 600-700 euros per month. And also the sustainability is one thing. Yeah, we save resources, reduce the CO2 emissions. It's also very interesting for ESG, and we get the point that they are doing smart coating instead of blind coating. And as I said, AI is worthless without deep domain knowledge. And as NEUROLOGIQ, we weren't able to build that solution without the domain knowledge of the workers. So we have to talk a lot with them. We have to analyze the data, find maybe something, go to the workers and say, okay, what's that? What do you do if this parameter and that parameter is there? And we have to talk a lot with the quality assurance from Thyssenkrupp. And the other point is that EMG started with this project early in 2019. So they had the first ideas as R&D projects 3 years before ChatGPT. And I think this is a very nice story, that they use, for example, the combination of a large corporate like Thyssenkrupp, a startup like us, to combine that idea and to start it and go in the offensive long time before the really big AI hype. And that's that was my presentation. Feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn or, yeah, call me. Thank you.